People love to say, trust God's plan. It's one of those sentences that sound comforting until life starts stripping things away from you. Until you're not just dealing with stress, but loss. Until you're not just tired, but broken as well. Until trusting God isn't a phrase anymore. It's the only thing that you have left. It's the only choice that you have left. Because trusting God is easy when things are working out for you. When your body feels strong, when your heart feels safe, when your future feels predictable. But what about when none of that is true? There were seasons in my life, I could say, where everything collapsed at once. Not slowly and definitely not gently, but all at the same time. It felt like I was playing Jenga. You know Jenga? Yeah, it felt like the whole tower fell off. Fell off? Fell down. All at the same time, with no warning, no nothing. Days in the hospital, lying there, staring at the ceiling, listening to machines beeping, listening to people screaming, and feeling pain I couldn't explain to anyone who hadn't lived it. Days where my body felt like it had turned against me. Days where I realized something temporary. This wasn't something temporary. This was something I had to carry for the rest of my life. And that realization, it really messes with you. It really rewires your whole brain. Because suddenly life doesn't feel open anymore. It feels limited, it feels fragile and uncertain. But what people don't talk about is that some of the hardest days don't just happen in hospitals like it happened with me. Some of the hardest days happen alone. After the breakup, after the silence replaces the good mornings, after the future you imagine when someone disappears without a warning, you start to replay everything in your head. What you could have done differently, what you should have said, who you were when they loved you, and all the what ifs, all the what could have been, all these questions start replaying in your head. And there were also days I had to move away, not just physically, but emotionally, leaving places that once felt like home, leaving versions of myself I didn't recognize anymore. And for me, it felt like life kept saying, start over, without telling me how. Like literally telling me to start this new mission without giving me a tutorial. And there were days where trusting God felt distant, where my prayers felt empty, where faith didn't feel like peace, it felt like confusion. And there were also days I wasn't asking God for success. I wasn't asking Him to fix everything in my life. I was asking Him why. Why me? Why my body? Why my heart? And why now? Out of all time, why now? And why so much at once? And I didn't get answers. But what I got instead was time. Time to sit with my pain. Time to feel the anger. Time to feel the sadness, the guilt, the fear. Because no matter how much life you try to live, you can't hide from the way you feel. And I learned something important during that time. God doesn't always remove the struggle. Sometimes He hands you the strengths and He waits to see how you'll use it or if you'll use it. And there were time trusting God doesn't mean life suddenly makes sense. It means you keep moving even when it doesn't. Some days doing my part meant getting out of bed when my body begged me not to get out of bed. Some days meant taking my medication every night, accepting a reality I never chose. Some days it meant carrying the painkillers everywhere because the pain could hit at any moment in public, in private, without warning, without any heads up. And some days it meant admitting I wasn't okay. Some days it meant letting go of people I loved because holding on was destroying me and destroying them. Some days it meant forgiving myself for mistakes I made when I didn't know better. And I'm gonna be honest, there were moments I felt so powerless, moments I felt so behind in life, moments where I thought, damn, everyone else is moving forward and I'm just trying to survive, bro. I'm just trying to get through the day. And that messes with your faith, because you start wondering if God forgot about you, if you missed a step, if you missed a sign, if you did something wrong. But slowly, and I really mean it, slowly I realized something. God wasn't asking me to understand the plan. He was asking me to participate in it. Because look, faith isn't passive. It's not waiting around for your life to improve. Faith is showing up when you feel empty. Faith is choosing discipline when motivation is gone. Faith is protecting your heart even when loneliness screams at you. Faith is trusting that this season, as painful as it is, isn't meaningless. And I stopped asking God to take the pain away. I started asking Him to teach me what that pain was trying to show me, what He was trying to show me. I stopped asking why me, and I started asking who am I becoming. And I'm pretty sure that's where things shifted for me. Not dramatically and not overnight, but internally, spiritually. I became more patient, more intentional, more aware of what actually matters. I realized some doors closed because they were never meant to stay open. Some people left because they were a part of a chapter, not the whole story. And some pain stayed because it was shaping me into someone stronger than I have ever planned to be. And okay, yeah, I still I still have days where it hurts. Days where the past feels heavy. Days where I still feel the regret, the guilt. Days where my body reminds me that this is a lifelong disease that I have. And days where I don't feel patient, I don't feel anything. I just feel empty. But I also have days where I'm grateful I didn't give up. Grateful I didn't numb myself with substances, with drinking, with smoking, with whatever just to keep my mind out of things. Grateful I kept going even when I didn't feel strong, even when I could have just gave up. I'm so grateful for that. So when I say trust God's plan, I don't mean just sit back and relax and wait. I mean waking up and do your part. I mean, even when it's uncomfortable, even when it's slow, and definitely even when it hurts to just wake up. Because sometimes trusting God looks like taking one small step when you can't see the road ahead. And sometimes just that small step is everything. That small step towards trusting God, towards God Himself, is exactly what you need to achieve exactly what you want. So I always think about this. If you don't have God in your plans won't turn out the best. And I'm not here to preach. I'm not here to force religion and force God on you. But one thing I realized during the whole of 2025, because it was the worst year of my life, that if you don't have God in your plans, nothing will go your way. Because God can make the impossible possible. God can turn a rainy day into a sunny day. And just the thought that God got me, He got me, just gives me that sort of clarity and that sort of peace that, okay, I got this. And also because God doesn't burden a soul with more than it can bear. God doesn't give you battles you can't overcome. All the battles you go through is designed just for you, designed to keep you or to make you into the person who you should become. And maybe those battles are a way of God to tell you to turn back to Him, to ask Him for help, to ask Him for guidance, and to ask Him to for signs. And that's one thing I am so grateful for that I found, and something that makes me more peaceful, makes me more patient, and makes me believe I can actually do what I want to do because I know I got God with me. I know that God, He's He's the all knowing. He knows what I don't know. And I'm just human. I don't know a lot of things. But as long as I trust God in the battles He give me, in the plan He made just for me, I'm good. We still good. So don't forget, trust God, keep God in your plans, and also don't forget, stay real.